Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Wednesday episode of the No Contest Wrestling Podcast. I am the heel that you love to hate, O'Shea Jackson Jr., a.k.a. Petty Guerrero.
Hey, yo, it's me. It's the T-double-O, the J-I-double-G. Too jiggy. TJ Jefferson. What up, man?
Ridiculousness.
There is some ridiculousness.
Ridiculousness is what's up.
There's some tomfoolery at hand.
Shenanigans.
Like, I don't want to, we got a big guest coming up, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's logging in soon. So we ain't got a whole lot of time to go over what we saw on SmackDown and Raw. But I guess the big thing we all know is Brock is back.
What?
What?
What are we doing?
I sat there for weeks after WrestleMania, right? And people go, what's up next for Oba? I'm like, he's going to be fine.
Yeah,
right?
he's gonna be all right.
Fine. And then they start doing the open challenge, and people are still online complaining about they're wasting Oba. He's going to be fine.
Like he old.
Monday Night Raw starts, right? Jacob Fatu gets, and people keep track of how many times I swear on here, so I ain't gonna curse.
Yeah.
He gets the ever-living
Shit.
kicked out of him by 3 men.
Yeah.
This dude turns into Jason Myers or Michael Voorhees or whatever type of Samoan werewolf that really is, because they can't keep Roman Reigns and the Usos can't keep Jacob Fatu down.
I was looking for a silver bullet.
That's the only way to stop a werewolf is some type of silver, right?
Yeah.
This man would not stay down. And I was like, oh my goodness, Jacob is a problem. What are you going to do with him? This solidifies him right now. He's a bad man.
He's like a Bay Area version of The Fiend.
There you go, right? But then you get to the end of the show, and there's Oba, the man who we've been building up as this unstoppable machine. And here comes out of nowhere. What a great kept secret, though. Brock Lesnar. And he, I hate to say it, because you know how much I love Oba, and you love Oba, just decimates Oba Femi.
It took 4 of them.
It took 4 of them.
I've never seen that.
But at this point, I wish there was one of those old school cats, maybe like a Mark Henry or Booker T type, to tell Oba, whatever you do, struggle to get up. Don't just lay there.
Don't just lay there.
Because laying there makes it look like he just took you out. We saw Jacob 3 hours earlier get the crap beat out of him. He still struggled to get up. Now, I understand this is Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And you got to sell the F5. But Roman Reigns and the Usos, 3-on-1.
Yeah.
This is not a knock on Oba, obviously. Everyone knows how I feel about Oba, but I'm a little upset with how this was portrayed. The fact that he laid there, like they should at least had him clutching the rope. Like he knows, not that he no-sold, but you saw what happened at Mania. He hit the F5. It wasn't a no-sell because you could see he struggled. I don't know, man. That's just, I'm a little calmer now than I was Monday night. Because now I've had the chance to think about it. What does this mean? Originally, if you remember, when we knew this battle was coming, my first instinct was Brock wins at Mania. Oba wins the next
That's what
2.
it felt.
And then like 2 weeks before, I was like, nah.
Because that promo.
Oba's got to win this.
Yeah.
Now what happens? Does Oba lose this match?
All of a sudden,
coming
Brock
up?
figured him out.
Yeah, I don't. It is Brock Lesnar, so it's hard, right? It's hard for you to go, this is beyond impossible, but we saw the man with the gloves and the boots, and we thought we had the moment, but I guess maybe the people in charge pulled out a paper and went, excuse me, sir, you have
just a blank check. Check.
I don't know. I just didn't like the end, that it made him look like he just smashed Oba, and I didn't like that.
And okay, because this is what I'm going to break down. When Ricky Saints beat Oba for the title, it took 4 of his DDTs to take out Oba. All right, it took 4 F5s to take out Oba. Okay, now, this is where the logic is right there. But then earlier in the show, you made Jacob look like the Terminator.
Right.
And that's where the logic breaks. Because, we spoke about what a Oba versus Jacob match, like, the anticipation of something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm still anticipating.
You just had Jacob looking unstoppable against the Bloodline.
Right.
And so when you got Oba, who you just make squat, I'm not gonna say squash, but you just beat this man in under 6 minutes.
Yeah, under 5 minutes.
Bro. So you're messing with my logic, and I'm a wrestling fan. Logic don't even matter to me.
Logic don't exist.
But you're messing with my wrestling logic now.
They're messing with my emotions.
Yeah, and then This is where I'm gonna be selfish.
I'm starting to get mad again. I was calm and now I'm getting angry.
This is where I'm gonna be selfish.
Idiots, by the way, 828-26.
You see what it
check
is?
out my tag team
because I feel like I'm dealing with a lot of them. But like, dog, we was at Mania.
We were there.
You see us.
You can see it. My sister's like, I'm watching you right now.
I was shocked. I had the.
You're shocked. Me and Stephen Amell, aka the Green Arrow, we're sitting there. And Stephen's like, nah, there's no way. I'm like, yeah, there's no way. He's done.
Because we had that feeling, there's no way that I'm here for this.
Right.
There's no way that I'm watching this right now. And not only was I going to save the ticket because it's a WrestleMania ticket,
well,
but
like, save it anyway.
It's also, one of the main event is my actual friend versus my favorite wrestler. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a special moment for me. But not only that, but this is Brock Lesnar's last match.
Right.
So now it's not a Mark Henry situation where he faked it, where like him in the scene of fake retirement, segment.
Someone photoshopped him, Brock's head over Mark's salmon jacket.
Yeah. So like there's none of that. We're stealing moments from WrestleMania. We're like, they can't show that replay anymore. That moment with Paul Heyman coming into the ring on that Monday and doing all that, the X, the hug, the Brock crying, like all of that, like a Thanos snap of the finger means nothing. It's gone.
Brock kind of is Thanos, so.
It's nothing. It's gone now.
I'm not going to go as far as say it's gone because it still happened.
Yeah, well, they gonna play it.
They're going to play it. They got to
play it. For what? It wasn't even his real retirement.
But that beatdown before that was real.
Yeah, that's great. But like that whole moment, what the hell are you showing me that for? It's not even real.
Yeah.
And for me to say that in wrestling, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but look, something happened that I know you and I appreciate. They caught us off guard. Nobody saw that coming, dog.
Yeah, I bet because it was let me just erase this.
Yeah, but
right
even so, though, it's one of those moments where at least I didn't read about it beforehand. It's one of those moments that
Sean Ross Sapp didn't tell me about it.
At least I didn't get it ruined on Twitter beforehand. So I was luckily watching it in real time. If I would have went on Twitter and saw that, I'd have been even more furious. But
that's what happened. I was at work.
Oh, you didn't see it?
I was at work.
Oh, man.
And whoa. Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm happy for all the people of Minnesota who get to watch all.
They're going to Clash, though. They're not even in Minnesota.
I know, but we know this thing. They threw that cash in for it to end in Minnesota, don't you know? But man.
Also, another thing. I'm going to tell you this, too.
Tell them.
All you fake Obafemi fans, I'm going to look right at you. I saw all you people cheering. When Brock, I saw all you people cheering every F5, screaming his name. Don't once you jump off this Obafemi bandwagon that we are leading, we ain't letting you. We're kicking you off like Jerry Butler.
We acting like Drake fans.
This is Sparta.
Yeah.
Bam. We ain't let. Yeah. Check out the red.
You see it? They brand new.
Man. I saw those people, man, and I screenshotted a lot of that stuff. And I better never catch them.
Yeah, never.
Rooting for Oba again as they were cheering for my man's demise. I ain't like that.
Swear for God and two white men.
Two of them.
Boy, it's...
Let me relax. But it's wrestling.
Remember what the
we'll see. We'll see where it's going. Yeah. We got our guest.
Yeah, we do.
Hey, don't mess this up. I said that Obafemi was the most un-F-uppable superstar that they had. Please don't make me look like a liar who's ever in charge back there. Yeah. Don't mess this up. But let's talk about our guest.
Yeah, we got a guest. We got royalty.
Yes.
Wrestling royalty coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure.
Yes.
To show you this interview that we have before you right now, because right now we hear a knocking. Booker T is in the building. Let's get to it. TJ.
Yes, sir.
It is time, bro. Get the red carpet out, bro.
Oh, yes.
Get the red carpet out. Right?
Legendary status.
Yes. Today. We here at No Contest, we love when we get to talk to legends. And, man, coming up, we have, if I listed all the tag team titles, we'd be here for a minute.
Well, it would take 5-6 minutes to read all this.
Yeah, man. My man is a Grand Slam champion.
The most decorated wrestler in WCW history. Did you know that?
Yeah, come on now. He is the Richard Roundtree of the wrestling ring.
Oh, shit.
Come on now.
He's a bad mother.
My man, shut your mouth. My man is a 6-time, but you know him as the 5-time 5-time champion of the world. And don't forget, he is a two-time two-time Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to No Contest, Booker T. You see it? You see it?
Yes, sir. What a pleasure to have this man.
What's going on, peeps? What's going on?
I will say this. I'll start by saying not only all the accolades that you gave about Booker T are true, but he's also maybe the most humble superstar of all time, because who else would take away one of their world title reigns? He's a 6-time champ, right, but only claims 5. Like, yeah, that's humble.
For y'all. That's for y'all.
That's humble right there.
That's King Booker still showing his way.
I used it at the right time.
All right. So, normally I say this after the interview's over. I'm going to say it before this time when we have legends in here, and I'm usually like, man, I'm tripping out. Yeah. I'm going to say this at the beginning, man. Looking at this man, Booker T, someone who I've looked up to as a wrestler and just been a fan of since the 90s. I'm like Matt Stryker said, it's a mark out moment, and I'm marking out a little Booker, but I'm gonna try to hold it.
Hey, Matt Stryker got fired for that the week.
What, really? Please,
please let us know.
I don't know if this is how we. So let's jump into this.
Yeah,
right?
Let's get to it.
You returned Royal Rumble. It was 2000 and I want to say 12. Okay. So out of nowhere, we hear that Royal Rumble. Mike Stryker's going crazy. And how many times have you heard me say this on the show? It's a mark out moment, bro. Exactly. And I'm marking out. He said that as Booker T comes to the ring. And now, Booker T, you're telling us that he got fired for that?
I think that's the reason Matt Stryker. I'm told that's the reason Matt Stryker got fired, because he marked out on television as a commentator.
That is wild.
The thing is, you got to understand, things were different back then. When I was doing commentary back then, I remember Vince McMahon, he came in my headset one time and he told me to say, "Hey, Book, tell him much to his chagrin." and I said, I can't say that. I said, I'm gonna lose off my street cred. I say that.
Much to his chagrin.
We don't use those kind of words. So things were different back then. Right. Now it's shucky ducky quack quack. Don't want to know me. So it's different. Things are different now. Yeah.
So you didn't say it?
No, I didn't. Okay.
So let me ask you, Book, what did you replace that with then? Did you say it in a way that
I don't think I replaced it with anything. No? I just was so caught off guard with the word, like I say, because from the neighborhood, and that's just not one that we used in the neighborhood. And I knew if I said that, I mean, people already knew that I was kind of like out of my element when I was doing commentary the first time around. But if I would have said that, they would have really known that, man, this ain't Book. Come on, who is this guy? I mean, Book tried that sound like, come on now, this guy. I didn't get him finish high school, man. So that's just not a word that in my vocab.
To his chagrin.
Much to his chagrin.
Much to his chagrin.
And now, another friend of the show, our buddy Mark Henry.
Oh, yeah. Mark Henry told us before we have anybody on the show, we got to hit him up to get some stories out of him.
Exactly. So I know Mark Henry let me know that your start into commentary kind of happened because you used to make the boys pop backstage. Is the truth to that?
No, that's 100% truth. I just used to, being on the road is it's taxing, man. Mm-hmm. And if you don't find a way to really, kind of get your way through those rough times and laugh about it. I've been to prison, man. Mm-hmm. And I remember my final day, man, I was laughing. So for me, being on the road with the boys, I used to get in front of the monitor, and the boys would be watching the monitor, and I would do commentary, for the boys, because we didn't have commentary in the back. And I would change the guys' names. I would give them moves in totally different names. I would just make up stuff, and I would just entertain the boys, not knowing that I was preparing myself for a future later on in commentary. But nah, man, and a lot of it was overseas tours, house shows, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So for me, it's always been fun. Wrestling has always been so fun to me, and I've always taken it very, very serious.
One of the greatest moments ever. I believe you were in TNA.
I was literally just about to bring up
Black Snow while you wrestling is one of the funniest things in the world.
How did Black Snow come up with the fact that he was going to not only commentate the match, but then stomp to the ring and but while he was commentating? Where'd that come from, boy?
That's something I always wanted to do, but I gotta really give props to Black Snow. Black Snow is actually a real poet here in Houston, Texas. Okay. And
nice.
The week before, I steal everybody's stuff, right? Maybe a week, 2 weeks before that happened in the ring, my wife and I went downtown to one of the hotels, and it was a spoken word, and Black Snow was there, and Black Snow was talking about Mrs. Jackson and her 3 boys, and he told such a compelling story about Miss Jackson and her 3 boys, and I was like, God, good God, this guy is awesome. You know what I mean? I want to be Black Snow. I took on Black Snow for that one night, not knowing ever in a million years that it would turn into something like this. I really didn't. I was just having fun in TNA, and I was there for 2 years, and I went into TNA with, high hopes, and like, man, we could really turn this thing around, man. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode, Jay Lethal. There was so many young guys there that I had a chance to really, I thought I could mold, but things didn't work out that way. So I say, man, let's just have some fun. Yeah. So I took on an African accent. I don't know what. Talking about the 5 and respect.
Respect.
You know? Respect. No, look here. You got to be able to have fun. And no one was giving me any direction when I was in TNA. So I just say, man, just try to have some fun. And, 2 years was up, and it was, time to bust up out of there, man. But it was a good time.
We kind of hear that from wrestlers, right? Because it's all about popping the boys and the girls. Yeah. That's just something that helps you get through those long trips and stuff, like you said. But when you and the Main Event Mafia were rolling together, which was an amazing faction, right?
I'm going to tell you, that was
with everyone in there, but that word that we just said, that R word, and I wanted to just see if I could get you to say that clean so we can clip that at one point. But what happened that day when you guys are filming that segment and you just kept saying that R word over and over to what it was? It was Nash, it was Sting, it was Angle, it was Steiner, right? And the Queen.
You know what? It's crazy in TNA. Like I say, I got a lot of heat. When I was in TNA. I did, kind of like from back behind the scenes, just because I was just doing stuff. And I didn't know if anybody liked it or not. And no one was giving me any direction as far as the respect stuff. I just started doing it. Everything that was created in TNA, no one ever came to me and said, "Hey, Book, we don't like that, Book. Hey, we like that. Keep doing it." No one really. So I was just winging it in TNA. But I really, like I said, the respect thing, it just happened. Some of my best work happened in TNA, and I really feel like I didn't give my all in TNA. I always say, man, I really feel like I could have done so much more in TNA with the right direction, of course. But I remember one time we did a promo in the back, and Scott Steiner and I, we was doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That's how we was trying to choose who was going to do something. It was just stupid. It was the stupidest thing in the world. And then we got in an argument, and Kevin Nash came in. "Control your husband, Charmel." And I got so mad, I walk out in the hallway, and I take myself and I put myself in timeout and put myself up against the wall, just looking at the wall. It was the stupidest thing in the world. I remember JB trying to talk to me, and I'm like, "Just stay around me, dog. Just stay around me, man." It was just stupid stuff. Right. But I swear, man, it was some of my best work. But that's what wrestling is. If you're not having fun doing wrestling, you're laughing at certain times when you're supposed to, you're not really watching wrestling. You know what I mean? I'm a realist. You know, I do love the seriousness of wrestling too. Like when the Bloodline is doing their thing, and then it get real serious. You know, even for me, when the bell rang, it was always serious. But you catch me at a grocery store, Stone Cold Steve Austin. So,
we definitely get to that.
It's always been fun, man. It's always been fun.
Let's get to it now. You got a question about that?
We just recently had R-Truth for the first time. A quick little sit down with him, and I was explaining to him that him on camera, what he brings is such a, and I don't know if a lot of people even realize that is needed, but it's like a palate cleanser. It's almost like it's refreshing. Everybody is so serious, and I'll whoop your ass and all of that. To see R-Truth is kind of like your chance to relax, and without that, you have a product that just, if you got one note, you're not really that entertaining after a while. And so those comedic moments like that are needed. And the world taking the gingerbread man too seriously, you gotta laugh sometimes. And as serious as both Booker T and Stone Cold Steve Austin were, the grocery store is iconic.
Yeah, because we never saw that. Major promotion fans.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if the indies they used to do that, but you never saw anything like that on WWE.
No, it's
iconic. It was Bakersfield, California. This little place called the Green Frog. It was a little neighborhood grocery store, and Stone Cold Steve Austin and I, we did not think in a million years that we were creating like wrestling gold, like history, we didn't think that at all. We were just going in and we were just going to, do our work. But it was like a match at the same time. And the payoff, it was time to give Steve Austin the payoff because I had been running around. He had been chasing me all over the place. And to actually go out there and, create that kind of magic. I tell you, man, I watched it for the first time maybe a year and a half ago.
Wow.
Oh, word.
I swear to God.
Wow.
Even though I loved it, and people always come up to me at conventions and they always say, "Man, that was your best match." I'm like, man, come on there, give me some credit. But no, I watched it with Maven. Because he came down to Reality of Wrestling and he said, "Man, I don't want any money. I just want you to watch that video with me, and we can react to it." And I was like, "All right, cool, and I watched it, man, and I literally cried from the beginning to the end. I mean, real tears came out of my eyes because all the stuff, everything flooded back. Everything, came back, as I was watching it. And I go, now I realize why people love this so much, man, because it was just, I was begging, I was crying, I was bargaining. I'm a tough at, I'm ready to kick some ass. Then all of a sudden I'm selling again. And at the end of it, I'm crying, and I'm still talking about I'm gonna get you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So it had so many ranges of emotions that went into that shot, and that was one shot, man. Action.
Yeah.
And that's, I swear, man, it was some beautiful, beautiful work as far as professional wrestling goes, and I wouldn't take it back for anything in the world, man. I really would.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that
was Stone Cold following him basically like Jaws.
Right.
Him at the bingo hall, like hearing the voice.
All the ad libs though in the grocery store that Steve did, everything was ad libbed. Every word, even the last line, price check on a jackass. It was just perfect. I'm like, man, how can you create that? In one shot, today. I say today, if they tried to do that shot, they would have to rehearse it for a week.
Yeah,
they would need 10 cameras, and they would have to edit it for quite some time to be able to produce it and get it out there. That was one shot, man.
Yeah.
And it was just, man, it's the artistry that I loved about the business so much, and two guys being able to go out there and create that kind of magic because they both know their jobs. It's like for me, Steamboat Savage, WrestleMania 3 is like poetry in motion because you could tell both of those guys knew exactly what their job was, and that was to get the crowd to that moment where it's pandemonium. So for me, man, it's still like coursing like through my veins right now, still to this day.
And the fact that you're like, you go, the shot sets up, you're in an aisle, and you're just like, yeah. And then you just pick up a box of cereal and open it and just start eating out of a box of cereal in the middle. Like, you always see kind of people eating, like, I've seen people open up potato chips or like, better cheddars or whatever. But a box of cereal, and you're like trying to
knuckle in a box of cereal.
And then you see a bald guy standing there, you go to whoop him, and it's not even Austin.
It's not even Steve. That's assault.
It was. I should have went to jail.
But then just all the food, the mustard and the and the flour and the eggs and just the produce and
the milk.
The milk.
Vince wrote a hefty check that night. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure. They wrote a hefty check for it.
I read it was between 10 and 15,000.
Yeah,
to
that's
cover
what
all
I've
the damages.
heard. That's what I've heard too. But I swear, man, I went back there like 2 years ago just to recreate it and walk through the store and whatnot. Just for the moment, and it's just a really, really an iconic moment for me in professional wrestling. Even though some people may look at me like the way they look at R-Truth. Sometimes when I hear people nag or say something negative about R-Truth and what he's done throughout this career that he's had. It's this awesome career that he's had. It really lets me know what people are. It let me know it's a lot of miserable people out there that wish they could be in R-Truth's spot. More than anything. So I give R-Truth so much credit for being able to parlay his success over so many years, decades of success inside that square circle, on camera, because this job, man, it's a hectic job. There's a lot of people out there that just wish negative on you. Yeah. But like I say, R-Truth has done something that not too many people can do, and R-Truth created that on his own. He literally created a spot on the show that was made for him and him only. It's not too many people can do that. It's not too many people have the wherewithal and understanding and know how to navigate this business the way R-Truth has. So I give that dude so much credit, man. I really do.
Yeah, when we had him,
even though he stole all of my moves.
Yeah.
Even though.
Okay. Now, which moves in particular, Book?
I mean, scissor kick, flying forearm. I think he even threw a spinneroonie in there a couple of times.
And like we said when we had Truth, I said you went from being the NWA world champion, to being so good that you were able to just like kind of switch off that mean K-Quick R-Truth Ron Killings character and then get into the comedic role. Yeah, like you said, Book, there ain't too many people who could do that, man, and do it for as long as Truth's been doing it.
And he told us, the laugh, because of the laugh, he said, I'm the most famous I've ever been. The most people know me like more than any time in my life because I can make them laugh. And like that is a powerful thing to do in a business that's, machismo. Yeah. It's all about, I'll whip your ass. Yeah. And if I could do that and still get a laugh, come on, man. Yeah, it's a powerful man right there.
Things he's done, man.
A lot of people just don't understand the business, man. I mean, like I said, if it was pro wrestling, MMA, it would be different. If it was boxing, it would be different. But it's professional wrestling. I always say, you're not going to be in a real fight with someone in a bar. You just, he push you, and next thing you know, y'all start throwing hands, and then he hit you with a good shot. Bam, you go down, and then he jumps up on the bar and do a 450.
That is true.
It's not gonna.
Who is this dude?
It's not gonna happen. So that's why it's professional wrestling, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta be calm down a little bit to understand.
I tell you what, though, if I did see someone do a 450 in a bar fight, I'm like, that's a bad man.
Can I get a picture?
Think about it.
I don't want no problem with you,
Just
sir.
think
Dude, it's
about that
crazy.
for one moment.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
All right. Now we gotta take it back. Let's take it back. You know, this is how I know it's gonna be a good one because we got our usual way to do things with our first for our first time.
I don't like usual ways. I like when we can just be versatile.
it's real,
like, you know,
man.
with Booker T, how can you 25, 30 years, man?
Yeah.
So much.
You've been around the world and but we need to know, when did you get bit by the wrestling bug? What was the moment where you saw professional wrestling and was like, this might be the path for me?
I never dreamt of being a professional wrestler or anything like that. I never played sports. I was a drum major in school.
6'3", 6'4",
and I was in the band.
Okay.
And, I never got hit as a kid. I used to play stuff in the neighborhood, but never anything organized. But I always loved professional wrestling. It was always cool, and I always knew who the good wrestlers were, the ones who was working at the top level. I always knew who the job guys were and stuff like that. So it's something that I love. But Hogan, man, Hogan, pretty much changed the whole name of the game when he was doing his thing. Yeah. I used to love freaking Hogan, man, and he just captivated me. I remember I got locked up. I went to prison, and me and one of my boys in there, his name was Butler. We used to work out together all the time, play basketball together, and we used to call each other Super Brothers. And everything was surrounded like Hulk. It's just stupid. It locked up. That's what we thinking about. Yeah. And then when I got out, I was working. My brother got me a job. I'm working for this guy, and my brother was thinking about going to wrestling school, and my brother finally found a guy, Ivan Putski, actually.
Polish power.
And he asked me if I wanted to try it out, and I was like, man, I'd love to, but I ain't got the money because it was $3,000, and the guy that I was working for sponsored me to go to the wrestling school. And man, I went to the wrestling school, and I always describe it as it was like deja vu. It seemed like a place that I had been many, many times before. Seemed like I had done it in another life, and I picked up wrestling like that. It was like second nature, from that point on, it was like boom, I'm in. This is it. But I was looking for a way out. I was looking for something. I never knew. No one had ever asked me as a kid what I wanted to be in life, and I never knew what I wanted to be until I found professional wrestling. And then when I found it, I was like, man, they're gonna have to kick me out this party. Yeah. Out here, bro. I said, I want to be the best. I said, I want to be the best in the locker room. And that's the only thing I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking about the money. I wasn't thinking about the fame or anything like that. I was just thinking about being the best in that freaking locker room. And I wanted everybody to know it. And I strived to be that. And I wanted my name to go down with the greats in professional wrestling. And I think I achieved it. I really do.
No doubt.
Did you have a, you say that it came so naturally to you. Do you have a welcome to wrestling moment? A lot of the guests we've had on here talked about running the ropes, how the ropes cutting them up. Or,
taking the first bumps.
Yeah, that bump that might have put you on your ass one time. Do you have a welcome to wrestling moment?
Nah, man.
I was there,
good, bro. I was real good. I always worked in the main event, man. On the smallest circuits, all the way when I was in the pay-per-view. I was in the main event, my first pay-per-view in WCW. Other than the main event, the first pay-per-view I had ever been in. I was, and it's extraordinary. I got to WCW in 2 years after being in the business. But like I said, I when I watched wrestling, I knew what it was. I knew it wasn't real. I knew it was entertainment. I knew it was a performance, and the best performance, boom, they like Denzel Washington. They work at the top level, but you got to be smart. Denzel didn't start at the top. He probably started in a commercial or something, and he probably had no lines. You know what I mean? So you got to be.
Then he got carbon copy for the first time.
Exactly. So for me, I remember my first match though. My first real match, it was at this club called the Avalon on Richmond Avenue. My first real match, and I was literally a couple of months into the business, and I was working with this guy named Dusty Wolf. His name was Dale Wolf sometime, but sometime it was Dusty Wolf. And I had watched him on WWF back in the day, and he had worked everybody: Hogan, Savage, Steamboat, you name him. I mean, you could name the list of guys that this guy has worked, and he never won a match. He lost any match I ever seen him in, and I was working him that night, and I was going over. Yeah. And it was my first big real match, and I remember going up to Dusty Wolf, and I go, Mr. Wolf. He goes, yeah, kid. I say, is it any way you can get me over in this match tonight? I say, I've seen you work with everybody. I seen you work with this guy, this guy, this guy. And I say, I know you're smarter than I am. You know what I mean? So I say, if you could just help me out, show me the ropes. And he goes, heck yeah, kid, I'll show you the ropes. And boom, man, he went out there, man, and he freaking had me doing stuff I never would have imagined or thought I could do on my own. And that's when I really learned, from the beginning I was learning. And he put, it went through the match and put me over, small package or whatever it was, 1, 2, 3. And I got out of the ring and I came back to the back and I was so excited. Yeah. And, Ivan Putski came up to me and he cursed me out so bad. Son of a bitch. That isn't what I told you to do. You don't need to do that. You need to do this. And he just went on. I'm like, what the heck just happened? Right. My confidence went from up here all the way down here in like a blink of an eye. But then there was this one guy, his name was Joe Blanchard, Tully Blanchard's father, actually. Wow. And he came up to me and he goes, kid, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. That was one of the best matches I ever seen a green kid ever have. And I go, yeah. I'm like, oh, man, I'm back on top of the world again. Oh, man, so I just didn't do it the way he taught it. Right. I didn't do it the way because the way I teach in my wrestling school, there's no wrong way of doing it as long as you do it right.
Huh. Okay. So that's WWA, right? The Western Wrestling Alliance.
The Western Wrestling
Alliance with Ivan Putski, Polish Power. Now, that's where we get G.I. Bro. Can you share with us how G.I. Bro came to be?
Yeah. The guy that my brother, had hooked me up and I got a job for, I was working at this warehouse and, some store, and it was like, storage units and whatnot. And I was cleaning out one of the storage units one day and there was an Army hat in there. And I took the Army hat and I liked it and I kept it, cleaned it up. And I came to practice one day and I had the Army hat on. And my coach, he goes, that's it. He said, you G.I. Bro. And I go, G.I. Bro. He's like, yeah. I go, all right, whatever, So that's the way G.I. Bro happened. But for me, man, I loved, the character was so cool, because I kind of like based the character kind of like off Hogan. If you go back and watch some old G.I. Bro clips, you'll see the resemblance. And man, I used to go to these high schools and those kids, they used to mob G.I. Bro, and it was like, man, I'm on to something, and I was working a regular job, back at that time, and I would have to take the, the cash, to the bank, and I would get recognized, because literally 8 weeks out of the rest of school, we had a television show live in Houston, Texas, on Channel 39, CW, on Saturday nights at 10 p.m. And I was one of the stars on that show. So I was being recognized around the city of Houston. And I was still working, a 6-day-a-week job. So for me, it was such an exciting time for me because there again, guys, like I say, the hardships in life, that I had to go through. I lost my father when I was really young, lost my mother, high school, prison, and then coming out. And then all of a sudden, everything that was on this side, it just flipped upside down. It totally just flipped 180.
Right.
Like, what God like just say, I'm gonna bless you. You know what I mean? Whatever, you got one shot. You got one shot at this.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna and it seemed like that's what happened. So for me, it was the greatest time of my life.
Also,
and he's still on the CW.
And reality of wrestling is on the CW as well. So it's nuts, man. Yeah.
And then, Booker being someone to look up to who did have those hardships early on in life, man, and you had to overcome so much. And then, like you said, you went away, but then you came back and you decided, you made that choice that your life wasn't going to stay on that path. You were going to go a different route. And look at you today, man. You've done it. And that's an inspiration right there, Booker. And I know, that to so many young brothers out there who might still be in that type of struggle, but they can look to a man like you and know that you might not become a 6-time world champion in wrestling, but you can definitely change it. You can change your path. You can change your life around if you believe in yourself.
Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta want it though. You gotta really want it.
Yeah.
You gotta have somebody pushing for you at the same time. I've had a lot of people in my corner, pushing for me, and I didn't want to let them down, more and more than anything. Like my brother, my brother, he told me, I'm gonna help you get a job, and he say, I don't care if that job is washing windows, sweeping floors, whatever it is, digging ditches, whatever it is, I need you to do that job to the best of your ability to whatever comes next. And that was the choice he gave me. And I go, yeah, all right, I could do it. I could have said, nah, man, I ain't down with that. Coming from where I came from, and that's the mentality of a lot of these young people today. They feel entitled. They feel like something should be given to them. But I came out of prison and I said, man, I'm a convict. No one should trust me. I got to earn their trust. Yeah. And I try to make sure young people understand that if they want to get on the right path, in this life, I'm very astute of what these young people are doing today, and they're just killing themselves. I just been watching this trial of the, Julio 5, Julio, and all those young guys, the youngest guy, Sean Gathright, 20 years, did it when he was 18, just got convicted at 20, and now his life's over. A convicted life without the possibility of parole, 20 years old. Yeah. Come on. So I try to preach, let's make the right decision, especially as black men. Yeah. We got to make the right decisions if we want to, make it in this life. We got so many things against us, and one of those things is us. And we always talk about these kids in Chicago, and you don't think they don't want to break the cycle, but if that's the only thing you're gonna go right back to it. That's just life. That's just instinct, survival. That's what this thing is about more than anything. We got to figure out how to survive without killing each other at the same time.
Yeah, I when Straight Outta Compton came out, and a lot of my press, I was saying that, the black community is our heroes that we are shown on TV are all in, forms of entertainment in some kind of way, either the ball or the microphone, and the NBA pick 60 people a year. That's nothing. Yeah. Out of all the schools that have a basketball team of 12 to 15, 60 of them are going to get picked every year. Yeah. So, and then football, same thing. Not the number, but it's a small percentage that are going to make it through that. Mm-hmm. And an even smaller percentage that are going to be a successful rapper. We need to show more avenues of triumph. Yeah. Possibilities and things like that. And you touched on it a little bit, but a question that we like to bring up around here is we talk about how the road to success is not straight. All right, there are turns and there's roadblocks that you gotta maybe re-navigate. It's not a straight road to success, but it's also not a trip you take by yourself. Who in your life, we like to give you the opportunity to thank them or bring them up or shine a light on them, give them their flowers. Who in your life we wouldn't have the Booker T that we know today without them. Who are those people to you?
Like I said, my brother definitely was like an inspiration. He was like a role model. I always wanted to be like my brother when I was a kid. I grew up. The one guy that helped me, his name is Bruce Kasarch. He's the guy who believed in me. And Jewish guy, and helped me get my first car. Like I say, put me through wrestling school. He was there. When I went in the Hall of Fame, he came all the way from overseas. To come to be a part of the Hall of Fame ceremony. Just because I appreciated him so much. The only thing he asked me was just to pay it forward. He never asked me for anything. Yeah. This one lady, her name was Brenda Sullivan, and she was the the manager of this apartment complex. Man, she loved me so much, man. And she believed in me so much. She gave me strength. White woman too. White woman. That's crazy. Yeah. Like so many like wrestlers, like Maniac Mike Davis passed along. He did so much for me. He used to, in the Global Wrestling Federation. He wanted for me so much. He even Sid Vicious, God rest his soul. If it wasn't for Sid Vicious, I would probably be sitting here because Sid called my brother and I when we was at the Global Federation one night on a Friday night, and got us on the phone and said, "Man, we're gonna get you guys in WCW, man." And boom, a few months later we're in WCW. Not just in WCW, but we was living in his apartment. We stayed there for like 3 months. You know what I mean? He put us up just because he believed in us. And that's why I say I've had so many people that have believed in me, but there again, I had to gain that trust. I had to earn that trust. I had to go out there and work really, really hard for that. And there again, like God, I feel like God said to me, "You got one shot. Don't screw this up. Don't screw it up." All right, because you got so many people watching you. You know what I mean? So many people going to be coming up behind you, and I saw so many, that come before me that didn't get a chance to finish. I wanted to be able to finish this thing. And I know I'm a role model. I know I am. Yeah. To so many people. And they tell me every day, man. I walked to the airport today, and I don't know, before I got to my car, I might have had 5 people say, "Man, you changed my childhood, man."
Yeah.
So now for me, that's a huge honor, man. Huge.
I think everyone who watches our podcast frequently knows, they know O'Shea from what he does as an actor. That's his day job. For me, I'm on air with Rich Eisen every day on his daily sports show, 3 hours every day on Disney Plus, ESPN Radio. And today, Booker, about half an hour before you came on, we had a group of students from Michigan here, which is Rich's alma mater. And, they were asking him questions about the business, this, that, and the third. And I kind of chimed in at the end. And it's kind of exactly what you said. I said, be someone who people like to be around. I said, because I've gotten further in this life based on the fact that people, for whatever reason, have a tendency to genuinely like me than of any other tangible skill set I have. And I guess that is a skill set. But I was feeling when you said it, there were people that were helping, Rich, and I said this to the kids today. You heard it, Shay. He hates it when I say this, but that man Rich Eisen changed my life. He took me from being an off-camera producer to putting me on air with him. And, he has a high reputation, and he risked. I'm not saying I was going to go left or right, but like he took a chance on me, and I always appreciate him doing that.
One person, I better mention him because if I don't, he's going to see this interview and I'm going to have to think about it. No, that's Michael Cole.
Michael Cole? Okay.
Hey. No, Michael Cole changed my life, man. He really did, man.
How so?
Michael Cole put me on the commentary team for no damn reason. The thing is, I knew I sucked. I knew how bad I sucked at that desk when I was doing it. And I stayed there for like 3 or 4 years, and then I left and I came back. I'm like, what the hell? Why does Cole keep me around? But Cole saw something in me, you know what I mean? He knew I could do the job, but he knew I had to be me. when I was doing the job, and finally I'm getting the chance to be me, in NXT, and doing that job. But there's no way, I should be doing what I'm doing right now. I really shouldn't be. I really should not be doing what I'm doing. If it wasn't for Michael Cole, bringing me a part of the broadcast team, and believing in me and working with me is amazing. He's an amazing dude. He really is.
Word, I get that. So there's an R word, I guess, that we could shout out to Michael Cole right now, and that word is Booker T.
Respect.
Much to his chagrin.
Much to his chagrin.
Much to his chagrin.
So back in the early 90s, Shay, you might not know this. Right now, Booker, O'Shea and I, we here at No Contest Wrestling, we are the only wrestling podcast on ESPN's platform.
Recognize.
Which is a big deal for us, which we piggybacked off the Rich Eisen show to get here. But in the early 90s, you were with the Global Wrestling Federation. A lot of people don't know ESPN used to air the GWF back in the day, and that's where the Ebony Experience came together. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
No, my brother actually made that happen. I was I was following my brother like I had always did, but my brother was getting a tryout at the Global Wrestling Federation, and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert was the guy that was gonna be seeing, because actually, no, my bad. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert was the guy that we did see. And Hot Stuff was talking to my brother and whatnot, and he goes, who's this guy? And he goes, well, that's my brother, and he goes, is he a worker? And yeah, he's a worker. Have you guys ever tag team together? And we was like, yeah, we tagged together, but we had never tagged together. And then he goes, well, I tell you what, guys, just to be straight up with you, we're looking for a black tag team. And we was like, well, shoot, here we are. And he's like, I tell you what, guys, what I'm going to do, man, we're going to really, spruce this thing up. And Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert was the guy responsible for Booker T and Stevie Ray. My brother, his name it's not his real name. But Booker T, he said, man, that sounds cool. I like Booker T, but we need something to go with it. And he came to my brother and he goes, Stevie Ray, how does that sound? Boom. Next thing you know, with Booker T and Stevie Ray as a tag team, the Ebony Experience. And the reason we were with the Ebony Experience, we actually gave ourselves that name because it used to be a black wrestler way back in the day. And we'd never seen him win a match, but his name, when he was a black guy with a mask on, and his name was Mr. Ebony.
Okay.
so we just stole a little bit from him and put the Experience on it, and the rest is history. But the thing was, it still almost never happened because Eddie gave us the gimmick, the character, and everything, and we were supposed to come back in a couple of weeks to have our debut, and we came back for our debut, and we was looking for Eddie. And get this thing going, and Eddie had got fired.
Oh,
yeah. So we was like, Eddie told us this, Eddie's told us that, and they was like, look, guys, Eddie's gone. Only thing we can do is give you a tryout.
Oh.
It went from having this gimmick, doing this, wearing these cool clothes, these cool names, to getting the tryout. And we went out, boom, and we rocked it, man, and rest is history.
Shout out to Stevie Ray, who we kept saying your brother, but we didn't actually name him yet.
Yeah, Stevie Ray.
Shout out to the Stevie Ray, who, I got friends to this day who I still call fruit booties, and they don't know where it came from. All right, the fruit booties and the yaks, and I say it, and then now some of my friends get it, but they're like, "Where did this come from?"
If I say that, I get in trouble. even though all the stuff I say, I know, but with that one, I'm definitely getting it.
I mean, through all that, through your wrestling career, that has lasted the test of time. What I'd like to know, just so we can put our mind into your mind a little bit. Were there some moves that you didn't like taking too well? We know they all hurt a little bit, but was there any particular thing that you were like, oh, I gotta make sure I get myself ready for this one?
Well, I never took anything that I didn't want to take. All right.
Oh, that's good rule.
I never picked guys up that was over 200 pounds if they didn't help me. I stopped taking backdrops when I was like 26 or 27, and I got in the business when I was 25. So certain things I didn't want to put stress on my body because I knew I could hurt myself or whatever. I didn't do it well. And longevity was my key. I was thinking about walking when this thing was over with. Yeah. I got 18 holes to play on Sunday, and I ain't got time.
Yeah, I saw that Masters flag. I was like, "What's going on back there?"
No, I'm serious, man. Right there, I got a simulator right behind us and everything. But no, I'm serious about. I was serious about retiring. I started thinking about retiring when I was 30 years old. I got in when I was 25, and I started thinking about retiring when I was 30, because I was at one of the Great American Bashes, and I was sitting next to one of my heroes, Wahoo McDaniels. He had came back for a match, and Chief was like in his 50s at that time, and he was having problems. He was struggling to get his boots on, and I was like, God, man, I got to figure out how to get out of this, because I just started thinking, my mind just started just flooding. So I started trying to figure out what was my plan, what was my game plan. Of course, I started my school over 20 years ago. That was one of my game plans, but another one was the way I performed. I always said, I had a house show routine. I had a overseas routine. I had a TV routine, and then I had a pay-per-view routine. All of them were different. You only got certain things in certain places. Just because I was thinking about the bump card. You only got so many bumps that you can punch on that card. It's like, the cafeteria card when you was a kid, your lunch card. It's like that.
A free sub card.
Yeah, I had that free lunch card. Okay. So I was definitely looking for the fries and the cheeseburger. You know what I mean? So, but no, you got so many bumps on that card, and I really was meticulously thinking about, how can I get through my career without, beating my body up too bad? I don't have any. I've had any major surgeries. I don't have any metal in my body. Wow. I don't plan on getting any replacements or anything like that. And I'm still trying to just stay motivated as much as I possibly can.
How'd that mentality come, Book? You're 25. You're new in the game. You're looking at Chief Wahoo McDaniel, one of the greats. Like, when did you realize that, or what made you realize, right, brother? Because if you're that young, you shouldn't really be thinking that far ahead. What gave you, I guess as Mick Foley would say, the testicular fortitude maybe to go and tell somebody, yo, I'm not doing this. I'm not taking these bumps at such a young age in the game.
Just life lessons, you know what I mean? Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
Nothing lasts forever. And you got to try to, it's like wrestling. It's like, for me, if you ask me, like me and O'Shea, we're going to be working tonight. It's the main event. It's in Madison Square Garden. First thing I want to know is how much time we got.
Okay.
Because I got to figure out how to stretch that time. And that's what I'm trying to do, boy. I'm trying to stretch this time. I'm trying to stretch I'm 61, man. I'm 61. And for me, I'm still thinking about the future. I'm still thinking about what's next. Mm-hmm. I'm not thinking about the past or anything like that. I'm thinking about what's next and what I can build. Reality of wrestling is, my crown jewel. That I want to, really take to the next level, because I want to be I don't want to be WWE. But I want to be as big as WWE. You understand what I'm saying? I want to be able to make that paper too. I want to be able to leave a legacy, something for my kids, something that they're going to be able to, manage for the rest of their lives, generational wealth. So wow. I'm thinking about the future. So I lost my mom, my dad when I was 10 months old. Never got a chance to meet him. I lost my mom when I was, 13. There again, seeing, my best friend, commit suicide, I've seen so much stuff, the kid coming up. I've been in places that I shouldn't have been, seeing stuff, So for me, life is precious, man. Life is so freaking precious. You know, I got twins now, you know, 15 years old. My son is like so smart. You know, my daughter, I got a chance to go see her do a performance last week, and she was singing, doing a solo. And, you know, we was just thinking about going to support our daughter.
Yeah.
And I'd be damned if she don't pull a Beyonce.
Yeah.
We didn't even know she could sing.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? So for me, man, I'm getting a chance to see things, you know, my father didn't get a chance to see. My mother didn't see. So life for me is about trying to stretch this thing. It's time. Time is precious. Stretch as far as I possibly can.
I think there was a song, I want to say Onyx maybe, that said the only thing I ever lost I couldn't find was time.
Yeah.
I always think about that, man. That's the one thing that you
I remember that line.
Yeah, I can't. I lost my wallet. Oh, I found it. I lost my watch. But that time, man,
Can't find it. Yeah.
it's gone, man. It's gone, brother.
I'd just like to remind our viewers that Michael Jordan went bald because of Onyx. That's what they
That's
said,
what Fredro
bro.
would love to tell
That's
you.
what they said, bro. I'm not.
That's what
Who
he
am
would
I to
love to
call him a
tell you.
liar? Now, I was gonna wait a little bit for this, but I heard reality of wrestling. I heard him talk about boots. I heard you talk about your kids, and I can't help but think about the woman who still holds the record for most times on the No Contest Wrestling Podcast, and that's Roxanne Perez.
Roxanne.
And Roxanne told us,
That's her girl.
the prodigy.
Yeah.
She told us one time where, Book might have got at her a little bit.
Got at her a little bit,
She
man.
didn't
Told her
have-
she wasn't all
She didn't
that.
have her gear.
She wasn't ready. So you got to know, Book. We, like I said, Roxanne's been on, I think, 2-3 times.
Yeah,
So,
2 or 3.
Yeah, so we're big Roxanne fans
Awesome,
here.
man.
But she told us that, and even as she's on Zoom telling us this story, I could see the fear kind of creeping
she
in her
like,
eyes a little bit. So,
you can see it in her eyes.
yeah. So I guess you're laughing. You know that story because you shared your side of it. That's a good one. Shay.
You know, Dayton, Texas. I know exactly what you're talking about. No, Roxanne's always been special. You know, she's always been so special since day one. You know, making that trip on that bus, coming all the way to reality wrestling fantasy camp. It's what it all started at. You know, my 5-hour camps I do on Sundays, like once every 3-4 months or something like that. And from day one, I was like, man, she was so small. She was smaller than my daughter at that time, literally. And like I said, my daughter just turned 15, and she was small. She's definitely smaller now, but she was so special, and she was so smart. She learned the dialogue of professional wrestling, the Shakespeare, the Romeo and Juliet, Phantom of the Opera, of what this thing was about. So young. And she was she was truly a prodigy. But yeah, I treat all my kids the same. I treat them all the same. I don't cut them no slack. If they do well, I'm gonna pat them on the back. If they're slacking, I'm gonna need to let them know they're slacking. Just because I always say, before you have a chance at make it in the ring, you got to be able to make it in the locker room. All right, you can't make it in the locker room, you have no chance at making it in the ring. You know what I mean? So it's a protocol to everything, and respect is everything. So for her to show up and not be prepared, because I tell my guys, preparation is I tell them all, and if they don't remember it and they ever forget it, they're gonna lose themselves. Preparation is the only luck you're ever gonna have. Preparation. It's the only luck. That's your best luck, is to be prepared for the situation. And her music was playing, and she hadn't even got her boots on or whatever. I don't know. She was in the locker room, and I came back, and because I'm running the show. I mean, I'm hands on with reality wrestling. It's not anyone running reality wrestling above me. All the responsibility go to me. And when she did that, I just let her know. I'm like, this is what happens when you think you're over.
Yeah, that's what she said.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you think you're bigger than everybody else on the card. This is what happens when you make that ride from Houston to Dayton. You thinking about the wrong things. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to check her and just let her know that stuff like that is not accepted, and stuff like that can get you fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like time. If I ask you to go out there and give me 15 minutes and you do 20, 23, you might get fired when you walk back through the curtain.
Yeah. Because you messed up the show.
You just messed the whole show up.
Yeah. Well, that stuck with her.
Yeah, right. So how proud are you of her right now, seeing what she's doing? Because I remember when she won the NXT title, man, and I put your reaction on my Twitter, and the way you howled, I was like, the pride was just so evident. If people didn't know, they didn't get it, but the people that knew could tell that there was a lot of pride, and you that carried through a lot of her matches, as you were calling her matches. But to see her today, man, how's that make you feel?
It's amazing. It's amazing. She picked up on all the teachings, all the knowledge. Everything was about making her as good as I possibly can make someone, and she took it and really made it her own. I remember when Becky Lynch came down and she did the program with Roxanne before Roxanne left and went to the main roster. Just to watch her be able to perform at that level with someone like Becky, I was like, wow, because the best wrestlers are the best listeners, right. And then when it's time for them to really get their stuff in, boom, they just go. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to ask any questions or anything like that. And she got to that level. And I remember right before because I used to always, critique her after every match. She would always still come up to me and go, Book, how'd I do? And if it was something, I would give it to her. The final time she came to me and she goes, Book, what did you see tonight? And I go, I don't think I can critique you anymore. I really don't. I think you got it. I think she's at that point where she can teach herself. Right. She understands making her mistakes. I remember being at that point where I go, oh man, okay, I'm gonna do it this way opposed to doing it that way, because I understood the lingo of going out there and trying to walk that tightrope and make the fans feel a certain way. So man, she's so incredible as a performer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Roxanne. Shout out to Wyatt.
Her dog Wyatt.
Her dog Wyatt. Shout out to Wyatt.
Who's been on the pod twice.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He's a great boy.
Now, I will say, though, Roxanne got to be part Samoan. All right? Because Liv Morgan head is still healing after that clash, bro. Roxanne is fun. But Liv Morgan forehead is still healing, bro.
That sounded like a melon dropping out of the high window when they knocked it, man.
Liv did have a little hematoma there, boy.
We just said she was thinking about a lot. That's all.
Now, Book, you brought up the name of a man that people know either as Sid or Psycho Sid or Sid Justice or Sid Vicious, or if you go further back, Lord Humongous. Yeah. A lot of people don't know about
Softball enthusiast,
Sid Vicious. And I've always heard that story that he's the one who made the call to help you and your brother get into WCW. So let's talk about your time there, man. The World Championship Wrestling was just, they were battling back and forth with WWE. They definitely had their own stars that were made there. Talk to us about, you're making your way. You said your first match was a pay-per-view, man. That's crazy. What are your memories about, not the later times, but the early days of you and your brother making it to WCW?
No, I remember Sid pretty much giving my brother and I a springboard right off the bat. We came in, and I remember we signed for $75,000, and there were guys making $250, and they were just, hadn't been there that long, and they said we can offer you guys $75 a piece, and Sid say take it, don't worry about it, and we was like, you sure, Sid? He's like, yeah, don't worry about it, money's gonna go up. All right, so we signed the contract, and lo and behold, Sid to his word, that 75 went to 120, then at 120 went to 175. You know what I mean? And then we was in a little holding pattern for a minute, but it jumped, relatively quick. So we was like, man, Sid's on point as far as his word. Sid was trying to work his way into the office. At that time, we were Sid's first projects, which was really, really cool at the same time. So Sid really went to bat to do as much as he could for us. But we just had to do our part. And that was, be two menacing black guys. The way we came into WCW wasn't the brightest light. A lot of people don't remember. My brother and I, we were actually called the Chain Gang.
Chain Gang.
We were two guys like out of prison,
Yeah.
It never aired. Because
I read that the other day when I was doing research on you, and I thought I knew a lot. I never knew like they had planned on you guys coming out in shackles.
Yeah. HR came back and go, look, we're gonna shut this shit down. So they changed that.
Thank goodness for that.
Very quickly, But I'm one of those guys, that you gotta. I tell people, 99%, you keep your mouth shut. You're 100%. You speak up 100% of the time. At that time, my brother and I, we had no leverage or anything. We had to get our foot in the door before we could make any changes, and I knew that. Mm-hmm. So to be able to go out there and perform as the Chain Gang was my modus operandi. Go out here and perform. Whatever happens out there is going to happen. Now, lo and behold, HR came in and shut it down. Yeah. I remember Ole Anderson was the booker. And this goes back to, like I say, go out and perform. Ole Anderson say, look, after what just happened, I should just fire you guys and send you back to Texas, but you could work.
Yeah. That's the important thing.
Right. But the next question is what got my brother and I. He goes, but can you draw money?
That's the bottom line right there, right?
Game.
Put us in the game, coach. You know what I mean? That's how things start. You know what I mean? So we kept our mouths shut on that, on that first part, because it was 99%. Let's go out and perform. Let's get it done. Once I got my foot in the door, I always spoke up. When it was time to speak up, I was always one of those guys that, never bit my tongue or anything like that. But WCW was a great time in my wrestling career. It definitely put me in a position to shine, as a tag team wrestler, being with my brother and his sister Sherry Martell was the greatest run you could ever imagine, for a young kid like myself. I was having such a great time, and then to be able to go into singles wrestling, and create something totally different from that perspective. But the times with my brother and I and Sherry, man, it was literally like some of the best times of my career, going around the world, Japan, Korea, all over the United States, damn near causing riots in the South, because of a white woman with, two black guys. Yeah. Right. And it was crazy. It was nuts. It was the biggest thing you ever could imagine, being a part of at that time. It really was. It really was.
I think Mark Henry was the first one we asked this question, but I got, you're the first person where I want to get three different perspectives from. The question, that we asked Mark was, after all that time, what was it like the first time laying his head on the pillow as champion of the world? Mm. But first, I want a three-parter with you, because I want to ask you, what was it like becoming tag team champions with your brother the first time? And you laying your head on the pillow.
In the Global Wrestling Federation. Because really, that was the real first time, man. Yeah. That time was so real, because my sisters and brothers were there in the audience. My aunt was there in the audience, and my aunt literally looked just like my mom, spitting image. They looked like twins, and she was crying the whole time. My brother and I, we won the tag team championships. Man, it was freaking awesome. But in WCW, it was great too, just because it let us know we were there. We had arrived.
We're here.
Because one thing about the the company got to be able to trust you. They got to be able to really trust you in order to put you in that position. Yeah. And then to be able to be put in that position there again, you got to be able to deliver. And my brother and I, we delivered. So every time we lost them, we won them right back. We lost them, we won them back. And it was a great run, man. It was such a great run, working with my brother. And then, like I say, when we added Sherry to the mix, man, everything was like, it was like pouring gasoline on everything. But nah, man, winning the championships for that first time, it just let me know we had arrived as performers. Not any, but I wasn't satisfied by any means. I really wasn't. I wasn't satisfied, winning the tag team championship. Even though I never imagined or dreamt winning the heavyweight championship, but I just know I wasn't satisfied.
And then, I in my research of you, I saw in an interview you said that you didn't really have too much time you didn't celebrate winning, Big Goldie until that Monday when you saw everybody, being excited for you. So you and Mark Henry have same belt too. That's crazy. Right. But you and Mark Henry have similar stories where Mark told us he sat it in a chair in a hotel and he sat on the bed and kept looking at it, just looking at the title. And, you spoke of a similar story. Take us through that first night as a World Heavyweight Champion for WCW.
Well, actually, man, it was a surreal moment for me because I just never, even the night it happened, I didn't think it was going to happen because all of the chaos and whatnot. I had worked earlier that night as well. When it happened, I don't know. I was just in the moment. The ball, they was giving me the ball. Yeah. I swear to God, I didn't think anything other than that, man, what's this match going to look like? Because Jeff and I had no time to prepare. We even what are we going to do, Yeah. So I just focused my energy to go out there and perform. Whatever we was going to do, we was going to do it. And Jeff Jarrett was such a professional, man, such a pro. I mean, he really just walked me through that thing, and just follow me, brother. It was one of those type of things. Yeah. I just followed Jeff and all the way to the finish. I just followed Jeff and bang, 1, 2, 3. I remember the fans going crazy. I remember I rolled out of the ring and they told me, get back in the ring, get back in the ring.
I had a moment.
I remember that like crazy, you know what I mean? And I went up and I'm celebrating. It was really, really awesome. I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember getting to the hotel. I sit on the edge of the bed, and I had the title there, and I was like, wow, and I ended up going to sleep. I didn't go out. I ain't go party. I ain't go do anything. Just because I was wondering if the fans really were going to accept me as the world heavyweight champion,
Yeah.
Being the, next guy after, Ron Simmons, the second black guy to win the title. Were they going to accept me, more than anything? So it's just one of those things that I just wondered, and then, there again come Monday, realize how many people had celebrated, how many people were so happy, all the signs, like, man, he really did deserve it, but that's the part, that's what, it's like Trick Williams right now. That's when the work really, really starts. That's when that's when the pressure's really, really on. Mm-hmm. Now you really got to go out and deliver. Okay. Now everything that happens is going to fall on you. Every mistake that happens is going to fall on you. You got to go out there and be the best in the world. So for me, that's the part I was ready for. That's what I was looking forward to more than anything. Proving how good I was in the ring.
Yeah. And then once, the merger happened and, we know you kind of had, they kind of put you through the ringer a little bit once you are a WWE superstar in the beginning stages. And then for you to win Big Goldie over there, for the same thing, for you to be able to on both majors be like, nah, he's somebody that can carry us for a little bit. What is that feeling? What does that tell you?
I really want to clear. I really want to clear something up, man. I've been working for WWE now for 25 years, pretty much. Off and on, All right.
Time is going real fast.
2002.
Yeah. No, seriously. other than the 2 years at TNA, this company they done nothing but right by me the whole time, man. When I came in, I had a hefty contract. I mean, I'm serious, man. I'm serious. I wasn't like, hey, I have to go. I hear stories these guys had to go to, to go get looked at and tried, go to the wrestling. I never had to do any of that stuff, man.
Hey.
I skipped past all of that. People, even talk about the, WrestleMania 19 with Triple H. I know we got to talk about that.
Yeah, because that's a sensitive subject for a lot of wrestling fans.
It is. It's a sensitive subject for a lot of people, but people don't realize I won before I get to that WrestleMania 19. Just like Moche was just saying, talking about. A lot of people don't really remember or think about it, but I won number 5 and 6.
Yeah.
In the WWE.
Yeah.
Okay. So I won world titles. I won tag team. I won Intercontinental. I won all of that.
You're the 8th Grand Slam champion in WWE history. Like, come on, man.
No, seriously. But what was my point? What was I talking about? What was I talking about? I lost my track of thought.
About how the company's always done right by you.
The company's always done it. In WrestleMania 19 with Triple H. I always wished to be in the main event at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Always. I was like, man, one of these days I'm going to be in the main event at WrestleMania. And then I find myself in the main event against Triple H at WrestleMania. And the story was a blueprint for me to win.
Yeah.
So many people, even office guys after that match say, Book, you should have won, man.
Yeah.
Man, you should have won. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But, I have always looked at this business like acting, and I never looked at it any other way. Should I have won? Perhaps. You know what I mean? But it just wasn't my time. That's the way I looked at it. But I say this all the time, guys, and I'm real about it. I'm real, 100%. After getting that check, they could have booked the same match next year.
Yeah.
Because that check. That check.
Yeah.
It's what paid for this property that I'm living on right now. Yeah. I'm serious. Mm-hmm. And one check. They could have booked it the next year, the same match.
Right.
But winning for me, it's never been my priority. Losing has never been a priority. The way I lose is one thing. People don't remember the way I lost in that match a lot of times. People don't even remember that match and how much I really put into that match either. Remember, I did everything in that match. I pulled out all the stops in that match at WrestleMania. But making that transition, over to, WWE when everything closed down, there again, that was a moment I was looking forward to as well. I knew nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
WCW was a hell of a ride. I feel like I got as much out of it as I possibly could. They put me on a trajectory to where everything was going to be okay for me, because when the show shut down, I was the United States champion and the heavyweight champion. Yeah. I was champ. And I mean, how poetic is that? I mean, the guy that started at the bottom of the company shut the company down with both of the championships. I could write that story. I really could.
Right. But talk to us about that. Now, you had your time in WCW, of course, where you become a legend. Like your battles over the World Television Championship, are matches that are still talked about. The matches with, of course, we know people feel a certain way, and rightfully so, about Chris Benoit. So sometimes he doesn't get mentioned. But I watched all 7 of those matches in real time, and I saw how you were elevated from this isn't just a tag team wrestler. No, this dude is going to be the man. And to watch all that happen for you, it was a sense of joy and pride for everyone that looked like me, you know what I mean? To look like you, to see Booker T doing his thing. Now we come to the end of WCW, like you said, you are the champ. What was that discussion like when you found out that night that you were going to be in the great history of NWA, WCW world champions, that you were going to be the last one?
Yeah.
Who
Last
told
of
you
the
that?
Mohicans.
Right. Who told you that? And what was going through your mind, your body, and your soul when you knew that you were going to close out this great company as the man?
It might have been Shane McMahon who told me that I was winning. I was going over. And I knew I already had one belt, so that meant that I was going to close the company. It was crazy, man. Never in a million years did I see myself in that position. But there again, I always wanted to be the best wrestler in the locker room. I always thought I was. I always thought I was the best guy in the locker room. I know that's debatable. I know guys gonna say, he wasn't that good. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I pushed myself to be the best guy, the best candidate, for the position. A lot of guys thought they were stars, and I thought I was a star, but I thought no matter where I went, I was going to work. No matter what, So when WCW closed down, it was a bittersweet moment because a lot of guys were, it was a lot of tears. I knew it was the end of an era for me. I knew I was, going to have to make a huge decision. But for me, like one of the guy goes, he said, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? It's the final night, WCW." I go, "I'm going to WWE, bro." That's what I'm gonna do. I say, it's time to move on. And for me, I so wanted to test myself against all of the WWE guys. I wanted to test myself against all those guys. I really wanted to see how good I really was. And starting in WWE, I was a wrestler. I was a wrestler in WCW. And when I came to WWE, I had to learn how to be an entertainer and a performer very, very quickly. And they put me in scenario immediately when I got there. Even like the stuff with Stone Cold, even the stuff with Goldust, me and Tess, no matter what, it was so many, they put me through so many obstacles to test my range to see how good I really was. And I was performing for one person. Pretty much, and that one person was Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Because Vince was the guy. If you got over with Vince, you didn't have to worry about anything. And for me, every time I would go out and come back through that curtain, look over and he goes, "We got him again," And then the times that I didn't get him, I'd look over there and he'd be looking down, not even giving me any looks, And I'm like, "Hey Vince," you know what I mean? He look up and I go, "Hey Vince, we'll get him next week. All right." But I never took it home with me or anything like that. But no, I loved being able to go out and learn that side of the business. And because wrestling, if I took it serious, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now. If I didn't understand what wrestling really, really was, I wouldn't be able to teach it the way I do. Because like I said, I'm not the youngest guy in the world. So I got to understand what these young guys are doing now. I got to be able to listen to their music. You know what I mean? I got to understand exactly what they're doing from a wrestling perspective and be able to say, hey, don't take that away, but hey, let's add this in there to level this out, to make this look a certain way, to make them feel it, opposed to just seeing it. That right there, that's something that's never going to go away, just because we got a chance to see one of the greatest WrestleMania matches this year with Punk and Roman. Punk ain't the youngest guy in the world, but neither's Roman. Yeah. Those guys went out there and performed at such a high level. It had such great meaning to it, such as Michaels and Taker in 25. That will never, ever go away in professional wrestling. So to be able to teach that and understand it is, I'm in a great place. I really am.
Like we said earlier, Shay, as WCW closed out 21 titles within the organization, the most decorated performer in the history of World Championship Wrestling.
Make him the logo.
And we're talking about Ric Flair, we're talking Sting, we're talking Luger, we're talking Steiner Brothers, we're talking Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, like all.
You know what? That's why I'm hot. You guys mentioned Mark Henry, right?
Yeah.
Mark Henry was talking on his Busted Open, I think it was, doing I don't know, maybe he was doing an interview, and they were talking about they were ranking the black wrestlers, and I think Mark Henry had me like at number 6 or something like that, and I'm like this here, how can I not be the greatest black wrestler that ever lived? It's not even a question. It's not even a question. And I appreciate what Bobo Brazil and those guys, Bearcat,
for sure.
Yeah, Bearcat Wright and all those guys did for us. You know what I mean? But as far as the greatest,
look at the gold.
All you got to do is I ain't got the rings on right now, but I got two. I got 2 of them.
2 of them things. Yeah.
Hey, you just set up a photo shoot with all your replicas,
right?
Let them know.
Bro, come to my school. I got all of them.
Yeah.
That's a good question. So you do, Book. Do you have the majority of the titles that you've won?
I just got replicas, man. That kind of stuff really didn't mean a whole lot to me. And it's, it still doesn't. The gold belt didn't mean as much as the title.
Yeah,
got you.
The title, world heavyweight champion. That meant a whole lot to me. Yeah. That meant a lot to me. I remember one time when I first became the world heavyweight champion, and I rode up to the building, and it was. I've never told this story live. The first time.
We love this NCW exclusive.
I rode up to the building. And Marcus Bagwell and Lex Luger is in the car in front of me. They've never heard this story before. They go to the security, and the security tells them, okay, take a left, go right down. And they went right behind the building. They parked. And then I rolled up to the security, and I say, I'm, Booker T. And he goes, oh, go park over here in the parking deck. And I went, and I didn't say anything. I just went and parked in the parking deck. I parked my car. And when I got out of the car, I was walking to the building. I had the belt over my bag, rolling it in. And I was steaming. You could, if it was cold, you probably could see the steam coming out.
I bet.
And Norman Smiley, who I work with in WWE, I said, Norman, I need you to walk with me. I need you to see something. He goes, okay, Buck. And I walk in the building and I go, what if it's security at? Who's running security? I need to know who's running security. And, one of the security guys came up and I go, look, man, I just rolled up and I gave him that whole story there. Yeah. I say, I don't care about me. Booker, he might have to park in the parking garage, but the world heavyweight champion, not me, the world heavyweight champion, he parks over here. All right. So I need to know, bro, they start jumping around.
Yeah, man.
And they came to me later on that day and they go, Book, we'll get your own dressing room. We got your own dressing room. Everything's cool.
Right.
I go, look, man, I don't need my own dressing room. I need to adjust the boards. I said, do me a favor. Give me a 50-inch TV, put it on the truck. Take it everywhere, all the buildings where we go, so I can play my Madden. Okay, do that for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did it.
You better respect these 20 pounds of gold right here,
They
bro.
put that 50-inch TV in. They carried it around to every building. We played Madden at the building every week.
That's what's up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, Book, you mentioned his name, and I wanted to bring this up to Buff Bagwell. You guys had the first, I guess, WCW match in WWE after the takeover. And a lot of people say a lot of things about that match, but I watched that match 3 hours ago. And it's still the same way I feel the first time I got to see it. People dog that match for some reason. That was a good match. It was just that the fans, and this is just how I viewed it, and you, of course, can share what you think. It just seemed like the fans, they were still on that WWE, WCW war thing, and they didn't want to give you and Buff a chance. You know, they changed all the logos. They had the WCW logo. They had Arn Anderson on commentary. You guys like I said, I just watched it. That was a good match. And then next thing you know, I guess Vince sent out Steve and Kurt to come and put an end to it. Can we just get your thoughts on and your memories on that match with Buff Bagwell?
I mean, I tried. You know what? That match is it's really, really touchy for me, just because it's one of those locker room story type things, and certain things in the locker room I try to keep in the locker room, but that was one of those things where it wasn't working out properly. It didn't go as well as we wanted it to go.
Oh, okay.
The angle was something that was set up before, as far as them coming, kick us out of there. All of that stuff was an angle.
Oh, okay.
But it was a really, really bad time. I mean, Buff was going through a lot at that time. And there again, I try not to speak on other people's stories and stuff like that, and, what they were going through. But I knew at that time, on that night, it was going to be rough. And just because, Buff and I had worked, previously before that, and it's maybe we shouldn't have this match here tonight. That was my thought process. And I actually remember going to John Laurinaitis. So the fix was in. The fix was in from the beginning, but I remember going to John Laurinaitis and I picked over. John, maybe we shouldn't have this match tonight, and John goes, Book, there's nothing I could do.
Oh, man. Yeah,
so when he said that, I go, okay, all right, the fix is in. Let me go out here and get this done. But one thing about it, I never feared, I was never in jeopardy, losing my job or anything like that. I never thought once that I was, going to lose my job. Yeah. I remember when I first got there, and Linda McMahon, her first words to me was, "We finally got you."
Oh, yeah, that makes you feel good.
No, so I knew I was in.
That's
as far as that company goes, and I so wish, Buff Bagwell could have had a career in WWE, but you've heard the stories. It kind of started rocky with Shane Helms, down in the PC where they were working at. You've heard the story with his, about his mom. I don't know how true that is or not.
Right.
But I just wished Bagwell could have had a career, because Bagwell and I, man, we had so many matches. And I remember that kid, man. Bagwell has his problems, but I remember that kid that had, the handsome stranger is what they called it in the global wrestling federation. And I watched him grow up in the business. So to see, how things turned out, I just wish it could have, been different.
Now, well, just from a fan, I just say, I like I said, I watched the match again, and man, I have no problem with the match. Just from a fan point of view.
Look here, I know I was working hard.
Yeah.
I was working hard in that match. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was working real hard.
Now,
seriously. Yeah.
You talked about, we brought up WrestleMania 19, and, I've heard you speak about the business a lot, and you talk about, what people feel. What people feel is what's most important. Mm-hmm. And in that match, you might have not left with the title, but you left with people's hearts, because people to this day are still hurt by that. We call that around here a moment where wrestling might have broken people's hearts. That's one of those moments.
We've had people mention that.
Yeah. So as you watched growing up, you said you always kept an eye. Is there a moment you can remember as a fan where wrestling broke your heart?
Nah. I've never had one moment like that, man. Not one.
Man, you lucky.
I've never had one moment like that. I've never felt the agony of defeat from professional wrestling. Not once. Not one time. A lot of people didn't realize the correlation of WrestleMania 19. No one at that point in time knew my story. No one knew about my prison record and all of that stuff, really. As far as in depth of my life. And jail, they had heard me talk about it, but no one had really had really got in depth with it. And JR told me, "Book, people need to hear the story. You need to write a book. We really need to get this out." So for me, a lot of the WrestleMania story was an overlay for me to write my book to let kids out there see you can go from nothing to something. Yeah. And the thing is, just think about this from a realistic perspective. That same kid who there again lost his dad, at such a young age, lost his mom at such a young age, end up quitting school, 11th grade, end up going to prison for aggravated robbery, coming out and finding himself in the main event at WrestleMania. If that's not a win, if that's not a win, I don't know what is.
Right.
I mean, I'm being real.
Yeah, I feel you.
Winning the match, is that the most important thing? Can't be. It can't be.
Right.
That's why I implore young people to stress, I stress with young people to understand that, again, at the end of the day, the story is real, but it's about taking care of my family at the end of the day. I mean, that's what it's all about. It really is.
Now, you might not have a moment where wrestling broke your heart, but I know a time where wrestling made you mad.
Where's that?
So, people who know me know that I'm sponsored by Monster. Matter of fact, show you sitting right here is brought to you by Monster Energy.
I already know you.
Mark Henry, another story from our brother Mark, told us a story about some Red Bulls that went missing. What's going on? What happened with them two Red Bulls went missing, man?
That was my ritual, man. That was just my ritual. And I just couldn't, most of the time with my Red Bull thing, it was crazy. I would go off sometimes just to at least release the stress, and it was part of a stress releasing mechanism because it was like, how dumb could people be sometimes?
Right.
Very dumb.
Because you got a cooler and there's nothing but waters in there, and you got a bag with 2 Red Bulls in there stuffed in there. And somebody think, well, they bought Red Bull for us. Who could think that? When that would happen, man, it would make me so mad. I've literally gone off the edge, because and wanted to fight, because of the Red Bull, and it was just the principle of it more than anything. And I remember one time my Red Bull came up missing, and they had the cooler in the middle of the hallway, and my Red Bull came up missing. I picked the cooler up with all the drinks in it and all the ice and all the water, and I just dumped it right in the middle. Bang! And they had to clean all of that stuff. and it was so mad. They was so mad at me. And no one would go and talk to me. And they told Kurt Angle, "Hey Kurt, can you go talk to Book?" And Kurt Angle came, "Hey Book, hey man, and I looked at Kurt and I go, "Hey bro, now is not the time." And he goes, "Okay, man." He walked right out. I swear, bro. When I was in that Red Bull moment, I ain't give a fuck. I ain't care who you was. Talk to my pop off, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Olympic gold medal and all. You might want to back up. You know what I mean? I'm serious, bro. I'm like, now is not the time.
Yeah, man.
Serious, but now I'm going off. Because that was my ritual, man. It was Red Bull, jump rope, get in the zone, and really, really get ready to go out and perform at a high level. And it was crucial that I had those certain, rituals every time. It was like that every time for me.
And you going before you get to the arena to buy them. And so, you got out the car, went to the rest, whole nine. It's in a bag.
It's in a bag. It's in a bag.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that got me right, because if it's just sitting there in the ice, think, all right, bet, this is fair game.
I remember one, though, I almost got in trouble one time because I walked in the locker room, and this guy was talking to Sabu, and he was drinking a Red Bull. And the cooler was right next to him. And I look at him and I go, "Man, where'd you get that Red Bull from?"
Oh.
And he goes, "Oh, I got it at the cooler." I said, "What makes you think you can get a Red Bull?" He wasn't one of the boys. He was just visiting with Sabu, one of his buddies. I said, "Man, why are you in here?" And I slapped a Red Bull out of his head to the floor. I said, "Why are you in the locker room, man? What are you doing in here anyway?" And I said, "Man, get out of the locker room. Just get out." And so escorted him out of the locker room. I said, "No, get out of the building." I walked him out.
Oh, wow.
I walked him all the way to the back of the building, and kicked him out of the back of the building, locked the door. And one of the guys finally had told me he was an MMA guy. He probably could have kicked me.
Oh, wow.
All over the place.
I wonder who that was.
Right. MMA guy. Somewhere he's
I swear. After that, I was so scared, man.
Turns out it was BJ Penn.
Right. I mean, I know somebody's at the crib like, man, I swear,
Yes.
Booker T kicked me out the building one time.
After this comes out later today, tomorrow, this is going to make the round. Whoever it was is going to step, maybe we should find out the year. Maybe we could try to figure out.
What is that TKO to figure out where you
Look here, I'm going to ask Shane Helms. He knows exactly who it was.
Oh, word? Okay. Yeah, we need to find that out.
Yeah,
So
man, I've been waiting since New York to ask him about these.
Wow. Yeah. So, Book, I mean, look, I know our time is drawing to a close with you here, and there's still, we could do 2 more hours.
Yeah, like we get to going.
So, first of all, I have to ask, can we get, at some point in the near future, can we get another day with you? Because there's still so much
most
to
definitely,
talk to you.
Yeah, no doubt.
One thing I do want to ask before we go, man, there's so much, but I'll leave it at this. We have our favorite question. We'll get to that at the end.
Of course.
But real quick, you were talking about you announcing and you were like, you weren't good at it. And I completely disagree because I love listening to Booker T on commentary. I've always found you funny. I've always found you entertaining. And the thing is, you don't sound like everybody else. I can always know, even if my eyes are closed, my ears are open, like obviously I know Booker's voice. Yeah. He don't sound like everybody else. And that, as Diamond Dallas Page used to say, is a good thing. Yeah. You as an announcer, you've done so much to hype up and get over so many of these young wrestlers. In particular, there's 2 I want to talk to you about that are very special to us here at No Contest Wrestling. Stephanie Vaquer with the Booker T ad-libs that came. And you might not know this, Book, but Stephanie came onto our pod early on in our podcast history. That move still didn't have a public name. So I had written down about 10 different names that I was willing to try to sell her on and I was like, this move that gets Booker T hyped, that gets everybody else hyped. I'm like, does it have a name? And if it doesn't, can we name it? And she said, Matt Bloom calls it the Devil's Kiss. I just so happened to have Kiss of the Diablo on the paper. So I was like, all right, that's close enough. I'm like, do you like that? And she's like, yeah. I was like, so we took it upon ourselves to coin it. This is the first time that anyone ever heard that move was called the Devil's Kiss. Now, the move, it's in itself is great. Let's just be honest.
10 out of 10.
11 out of 10. But your reaction to the move, Book, I won't say it's what got it over, because obviously what got it over is what got it over.
Some might say the icing on the cake.
Yeah, but your reaction is what got everybody into it. When did you start making the And then had anyone ever talked to you about it? And also, just as a quick one to that, everyone's always like, Booker T got to sleep on the couch. I know the Queen is okay with it because she understands the business, right? So,
it's not. The thing is, it's not sexual at all.
No.
It's like I really picked up on like when the Spinneroonie got over. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have gotten over if it didn't have a soundtrack. Spinneroonie. I mean, I was like, man, that made the Spinneroonie what it was, so I always remembered that. And I said, man, I got to be the soundtrack, for a lot of these moves, because just think about it. If it was radio, you're just listening to it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you can't see it, you're not gonna really understand it. But if I give it a soundtrack, even listening to it, you can actually get along with it, follow along and vibe with it. And then once you start getting the fans involved, that's when you really got something.
That's
because
funny.
Just think about it. The crowd, the business was at its height. It may not be as money wise, but as far as fans participation, goes, when the fans was bringing the signs out and, oh, you didn't know, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. That's when the crowd and the business was really booming, So for me, I'm just trying to add soundtracks, behind this stuff, Gigi. It means nothing, but it means everything.
It means everything.
At the same time. So for me, I know what my job is. And I wouldn't necessarily say I wasn't that good at it, but I didn't get a chance to be myself when I was on Raw and SmackDown. I was filtered. I had to be. They wanted me to act like a real commentator, and I'm not like a real commentator. I'm
six-time world champion.
Yeah, man.
I'm just going to go out and analyze this thing. If I like you, I like. Yeah. I'm not a heel. I'm not a baby face or anything like that.
Add some color.
I'm just gonna go out and add color, and I love it, man. Being a part of NXT, that job literally was supposed to be for 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
I was just filling in. Book, we need you to fill in for 3 months. And I was like, all right, 3 months, my ass. I'm like, no way y'all going to be able to take this job away from me. It's the best job in the world. It's like too easy. So I really put in, but I must give props, to my man, Vic Joseph, because.
Playing the straight guy.
No, Vic makes it so easy for me. Vic's he's literally like the quarterback to that thing, and he'll throw me to play. And Vic and I, we both know the plays. Mm-hmm. I know exactly where he want to go when he want me to go there. When I need to lay out, I need to lay out. When something need to get talked about, from a business perspective, bang, Vic is going to be on point. As far as he just made that job so easy for me. So I give Big Joseph big props for putting me in the right position to succeed in NXT the way I have over 4 years. Yeah, that job has lasted 3 months.
3 months to 4 years.
It's turned into 4 years.
And then, Book, another person who you've helped get over tremendously, we believe, is Trick Williams. Your ad libs there with Trick. How did that come about? Because I don't care what anyone says, that helped. We love Trick. He's another friend here. He's been on this pod, I think, 3 or 4 times. But having you, man. That made me like, I couldn't wait for Trick to come out because I liked Trick from the start. I remember telling Trick, like, even when he was with Mello, I said, Mello's dope. I'm like, but that dude behind Mello, I said, if he can do anything, that dude's going to be a star. I just had a feeling. And now I see it now, and I feel like, man, I feel like great because
and also Last Legend telling him you gotta
you bulk up. But how did
that
the ad lib on Trick's theme come through?
Trick is he's been under the learning tree since my beginning. When he first started breaking off, Trick would come and he would talk to me. He would come in skull session. Mm-hmm. We work on match prep, everything, man. I just see so much in him. Yeah. As far as the ad libs go, there again, I'm just having fun out there, and that was one of the times Vic tried to shut me down. Trick was coming out, his music started playing, and I just started vibing, and then I just went off, and I just started doing it. Oh yeah, man! Next thing you know, by the end of it, that Trick had got in the ring, and then he did his stuff. And Vix looks at me and he goes, "Do that every week."
Yeah, it's like I miss you. At one point I was like, man, they should record Booker's ad libs and put it on Trick's actual theme.
Yeah, because I do it during the game. I play the game.
I appreciate that. You know what? If they would ask me to do it, I definitely would do it. But I really, there again, Trick's he's in that position now where he's got to fly. He's got to really, really. And there again, I hope you listen to this. You know what I mean? Because I shoot straight. This is the most pivotal time for a young wrestler like Trick Williams. He cannot get complacent. He cannot start, believing the hype. This is the time where he's got to do more work than he ever imagined to put himself into position to be that guy. That guy, such as a Roman Reigns, a guy that over this last 10 years, nobody has had a bad match with Roman Reigns because Roman is a hell of a general. he's going to go out there and he's going to take you through that match, and he's going to take you to something so compelling at the end of the night. No matter how many people did not like Roman Reigns, they're going to be saying, damn, he's good. That's where I need someone like Trick to really be honestly thinking about focusing on being that guy that every guy in the locker room looks at him a certain way, and they know it when he walks in the room.
You happy with his progress right now?
I am. I'm happy with it, but there again, I'm a coach. You know, I see everything, and nothing gets over my head, and it's always the small things with me that make the fans feel a certain way. Which those are the things that Trick definitely cannot get away from. If you want to, make a splash on the main roster for a meaningful amount of time.
Yeah, but we're definitely in his corner.
Yeah,
man.
that's our
Big
boy.
Trick Willie fans here.
Now, Book, this has been amazing. But now it's time for our number one question, and then we can let you go about your day, brother.
Until we see you again.
Yeah, right. Until we get that part two. Now, Booker T, you are in a bar. Mm-hmm. Now, you brought a bar fight up earlier in the episode. You talk about a dude doing a 450 off the bar, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, you're in a bar. Mm-hmm. There's 50 dudes in this bar, and they hating on King Booker. They can't dig what you laying down. So, I need you to pick a team of you and 4 other superstars. Now, they can be of any era. Mm-hmm. They can be your boys. They whatever. It's your choice. 4 other superstars to make sure King Booker is getting to the crib.
Man, let me see. Man, that's a tough one right there, but I definitely would have to put my brother in there.
100%. We knew this was going to be the first pick.
Yeah, I mean, just because, my brother always been, straight
Big
up.
brother.
Who going to have your back more?
Right. He's always looking for a fight.
Somebody getting knocked out, OG style.
I'm thinking about guys, that like Haku. He definitely would.
Bro, this is his question. We get him the most.
Yeah, like we almost had to put him aside, be like anybody but Haku, because it's everybody's mentioned.
Everybody pick Haku.
But you want to get home.
He was the real deal.
Well, can I ask you, I want to interrupt. Have you actually seen Haku in action, or did you just hear the stories that were announced?
I've been in the ring. You could tell if someone can handle themselves when you get in the ring with them. Mm-hmm. I've been in the ring with a lot of guys, and you could tell if they've been in a fight before. Mm-hmm. And Haku wasn't one of them. Haku was the guy that I did not want to be in the ring with. Right. Literally. And I tried my best not to be in the ring with him, and made sure my brother was in the ring with him, and I would be in the ring with Barbarian. Mm-hmm. And when we did tag matches, just because he hit me so hard one time, and it felt like it went through my body to the other side. I'm not exaggerating. To me personally, I tell guys, you don't hold back. You hit guys, you whack them. And he whacked me. And it wasn't anything out of the ordinary, but it's just the force behind it, which is amazing. And I was like, wow, what the hell was that? I don't want any more of that.
Wow. Okay.
Like I said, you could tell.
He's a nice guy.
And we know, and look, we didn't bring it up, but we know from all the story we heard, this is one of the legit tough guys right here that we're talking to. So for you to say that.
I'm the real deal, bro. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, people can say what they want to say, but I'm the real deal.
That's what we hear.
We heard.
That's what everybody heard.
We didn't bring it up.
Yeah, we
get it. Well, we heard.
Mark Henry. Speaking of Mark Henry, we sat in a hotel lobby a few months ago before going up to Stanford, and he told us one of the more famous stories. And we'll save it for another day.
Get your ass.
But
Bro, ain't no bully or nothing like that. But I love fighting, man. When I was a kid, man, I got in so many fights, man, and it was like second nature for me fighting. But another fighter. A lot of people may not know, that don't give a lot of credit to, that could handle himself, was Rick Rude.
We've heard those stories. Yeah.
Man, he was the real deal as far as a guy that did not mind throwing hands, and I've seen Rick Rude in action before, and he was a really tough guy too, strong too. He used to do arm wrestling, and he was one of the only guys that I could see too as far as arm wrestling goes, but that's another story. But
so we got Stevie Ray, Haku, Rick Rude,
right?
One more.
The last one would probably be let me see, man. Oh man, I don't know, man. This last one's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Oh man, Ron Simmons.
Yeah.
There's someone who doesn't get named enough, but I'm telling you, from what we heard,
I don't know what made me not think about Ron, earlier, but now, man, Ron. This is a dude that's got like the ultimate respect in this business.
Booker, I'm sorry, what's he have?
The ultimate respect.
Respect.
Yeah, respect. no, he does, man. I mean, he's one of the guys. He was my mentor, man.
Yeah,
he was the guy that was coaching me. He was the guy that was mentoring me and talking to me and telling me what not to do, the pitfalls not to fall into. Ron was such an educator for me in this business, and I watch him walk in a certain way, and I wanted to be so respected, like Ron Simmons. And I guess that's the way I walked, perhaps through this business. Seriously, I always talk about none of my peers throughout my whole wrestling career never saw me in a pair of jeans.
Oh, really?
No.
Suit, yeah, because you were always dressed, man.
I was always suited.
Looking fly when you were on TV.
Always suited. The guys never saw me throughout my whole wrestling career. They never saw me in a pair of jeans. Never.
Wow. So we got Booker T.
Yeah.
We got Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
We got Haku. We got Rick Rude and Ron Simmons. The only problem here, Book, that I see is that you guys are going to jail on some manslaughter charges. Somebody's not living through this night, man. Unfortunately,
yeah,
somebody gonna die.
That's rough. And that's old school rough,
right?
That's a real group of guys, right there. All those guys literally can handle themselves, and it's a lot of guys in the wrestling business that's pretenders. They get in the business, like I go to my wrestling school and I ask them, have you ever been to a fight before? They go, no. Like, well, you need to go over here, get on that side.
Yeah, I've really heard pro wrestlers tell me, like, oh, I've never been in a real fight. And I'm like, oh, damn. Yeah. Hey, Book, I'll share with you real quick this Ron Simmons story. It's early 1990s. I'm from Altoona, Pennsylvania. We're at the Jaffa Mosque. We don't get TV tapings in Altoona. It's like a weird thing, but we got one, right? So WCW Saturday night, I position myself right in front of the stage where they're doing the interviews, right? I'm one of the few black kids right there. So I knew that I would stand out. Out comes Teddy Long. Out comes Butch Reed. Out comes Ron Simmons. Doom. And I'm sitting there. I just remember this. I got a fresh Georgetown Hoya sweatshirt on that I just got, and I'm standing on top of my chair. I know they're going to see me. Everyone's booing and da-da-da, and Ron Simmons in the middle of the interview turns around, and I found this on YouTube. I will show this to you.
Okay.
He turns around, and of all people, he looks me right in the face, and he goes, "Shut up!" And I went, oh! And I was like, I'm the only black kid here. He looked right at me, and just like Debo, he said, "Shut up," and I shut up.
You know what? I'm gonna be quiet right now.
And I sat right back down.
Bro. I was afraid of those guys too, bro. I'm gonna tell you, hey, lying. I was scared. I did not want no parts.
Man, and I'll show you. At some point, I'll show you the video. You can see him turn around and be like, "And that was me."
Shut up.
Oh,
let me shut the hell up now.
And guess what? I was quiet.
Yeah, right. You and Ahmed Johnson. Book, man, this is
awesome, man.
This has been a great one, man.
Yeah, man. You were on our original list. We started this pod back in September of 24, dog.
Yeah, I know.
And you were definitely on the original list. You were someone who I loved for years and years. Same with Shay. So when he texted me last night, because he's been saying to me for weeks now,
we get Booker.
We get Booker. And I'm like, nephew, naysayer, let's get Booker. What are we doing? Bro. And he texted me late last night. He goes, "We got Booker T. Are you okay with that?" I said, "Am I okay?"
Yeah, bro. Just be prepared, all right? Right, whatever you
man. I'm available when I'm available, dog. That's my motto.
Man, this is great, man.
Yeah, man. I've been talking to this dude for a while, man, and he keep trying to get me down to Houston, man. He keep trying to beat me up.
Yeah, I got to get you down here, man. Like I said, we got summer coming up. We got August coming up. We're gonna check back with you, see what your schedule
I'd
looks
love
like.
to come check out reality.
We got a lot of stuff going on. We just made an announcement today that we're working with new partner to get our stuff out there, for its reaction videos, whatnot. And it's growing, man. It's growing like crazy. It's going to be our best year. It's going to be our best year. So
had some great talent coming out of there, man.
Is there any way people can check y'all out? Put a drop out for
Reality Wrestling / YouTube. We drop new shows every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you get a chance, check out Reality Wrestling. It's growing. If you want to be a part of Reality Wrestling, go to the website and come check us out. Right now, I got in access of probably 60 students that's under the banner right now, and everybody got so many kids, trying to make their journey in professional wrestling. It could be the thing that changed your life. So go to realitywrestling.com.
Definitely gonna have at least 3 future world champions. I ain't even seen them. Yeah. But I know if they're learning from this man, if they're under this tree,
and we've seen the results with the Prodigy and with Trick Willie.
Yeah.
Jey Uso is already he's one of my first world champions.
Oh, word! I didn't realize
that. Actually, Athena is my first.
The forever champion.
Forever champion.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So man. So I got a few of them out there that's doing big things and representing reality of wrestling, man. And it ain't gonna stop.
AJ Francis, he's still your champion right now?
Actually, he's going to be going for the championship this weekend, this Saturday night.
Okay, bet. AJ, another one of our friends here.
Man, that's my dog right there.
King Booker.
Man, thank you so much, bro. This has been one of our favorite ones, man. For real. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Booker T.
Respect.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Appreciate you, Book.
Woo! Yes, sir.
Respect.
Take my jacket off this.
Idiots, 8/28.
You see what it is, bro. August 28th, Idiots. Make sure y'all go. Take a family. So, a family, not just yours. You see what it is. But Booker T, man.
Yeah, man.
That was a special one.
That was that was one of those bucket list ones.
Yeah.
He gave us 2 hours of his time, which is amazing.
Right.
He's got a lot going on. So we thank you, Booker. We already got him reserved for another day in the future that we'll definitely do a little bit deeper dive.
We didn't really take a full dive into NXT yet. Yeah. We haven't taken a full dive into some of his great moments, his rivalry with The Rock.
The Rock, his tag team with Goldust. He mentioned, but there's so much. What it was like to win a tag team title with Test, being the first time without his brother. There's a lot we can talk about.
Man. And I do want to take a further dive into the reality of wrestling. Yeah, his thought process on that when he was talking about leaving something for his kids. Yeah, that's something special to him. So I want to make sure we give it as much shine as possible. But TJ,
yes sir,
this has been a long one, man. Pause. Can you please tell the people where to find us?
Listen, I got to recover from that one. But if you want to watch this interview, this a great interview we had with Booker T, all you got to do is go to YouTube, search the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page, and just type in No Contest Wrestling. You'll find every episode from episode 1 to I think this is 86 or 87.
86, 87.
Yeah, man. How about that? And if you want to listen to us for your ear gate, you go to wherever you listen to your wrestling pods. That's ESPN, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, or on social media. You'll find everything we do on Twitter. That's at There's No Contest, Instagram, No Contest Wrestling Podcast, and TikTok, No Contest Wrestling Pod for everything we do here at NCW, ESPN CW.
Ooh, still sounds so good. On behalf of myself and my podcast partner, make sure y'all have a good day, but not too good, because who the hell you think you are?
Bye, Miss Parker.
Bye, Miss Parker.
They put her against Layla Diggs now, and it's just like, why are they putting all the sisters together?
Black people, am I right?
Man, come on.